Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and we're back with some more Touch Detective. And because I'm recording this at home, I don't have my pop filter, so if my audio sounds weird, well, there's not really anything I can do about it. Not really anything I can do about it. Enunciation, it is a thing, and we have a visitor. And it's Tom, the turkey-ass motherfucker. Because John the Weenie Man's not in this game, so I need to find someone to take the piss out of, and it might as well be Mayor Tom. And as it turns out, our office is actually bigger than the mayor's. And we're only a kid, therefore property taxes. You are a very corrupt individual, good sir. Anyway, typically, when someone appears at the start of a case, that means they have a case to give us. So, a reward, you say. Is that reward a case? Or is it an actual reward? Well, technically, as a detective, an actual case would be a reward, but... well, no, he seems sincere. Well, he's not the sincere one, but we have received one complimentary travel ticket. Good for 5 people and 1 train journey, and this is all pre-scripted. I had no control over that, so we'll have a close look at the ticket later down the line. No pun intended. So, of course, the 5 people in question are our good selves, Cromwell, Penelope, Chloe, and Fungi. Because mushroom equality! Yay! So... yeah, there's not really much I can say. I'd like to imagine that this takes place on the same train and at the same time as Clonoa Dream Champ Tournament. So, in this part of the train, we're having some Dutch detective action, and elsewhere, I'm racing the bay in, well, episodes 2 and 3, I think, which is a while ago. Anyway, Penelope is screaming, the train's gone dark, everything is death, everyone's in pain, Fungi, and Cromwell's having tea. Good for you. Your wing-ass moustache. Anyway, there we go, she saw a monster. Penelope's usually the instigator of these cases, oh my goodness. That is indeed a monster. With an obsession with freeloaders. Apparently he's also the conductor. So... well, you shouldn't be too surprised. I mean, we should show him our ticket so he doesn't beat our heads in with that mace, but... we've had... Dover the land shark and Beatrice the person, so I suppose it's not too much of a leap to have a red Oni being a train conductor. So yes, he has this unhealthy obsession with beating the shit out of freeloaders, and he doesn't have a very strong grasp of object permanence, so every time he confronts us we have to shove our ticket in his face. And the ticket does say something on it about this, which I will show off later down the line, because I noticed it, I only just noticed it when I was recording this, and it tickled me. So, yeah, oh my goodness me. But yes, why was there a blackout just now? Or a power cut, or whatever you want to call it? Thief, good sir? But the last episode was robbery, the last case was a robbery, this one's deception. Get with the times, good train. Okay, you have a very skewed sense of morality, and that's a very terrifying stapler you have there. Of course, it's a ticket confirmation squeezy fucker, but it looks like a stapler. But isn't the expression mind your own business, you fuck? Anyway, we are detective, we will find thief, we will steal the thief for ourselves. Oh, don't do it. Oh my god. But apparently Cromwell knows a fair amount about... well, he's not... certainly he doesn't seem to be too scared of this arsehole. He seems to be familiar with the way he operates. Well, we seem to be in the conductor's semi-good books. I mean, we have a ticket, we're promising to sort out the train, so we should be okay, but yes, the conductor is a scary individual. Worst scenic railroad tour ever. So Cromwell has heard of him, and yes, he is indeed a devil. Lovely. And apparently Cromwell is scared, but he's just... and then Fungi just doesn't give a shit. And if Pokemon games have taught me absolutely nothing, it's check every bin. And I tried to look out the window, but it wouldn't let me. So here we go. Train Bureau, Scenic, Adventure, Rail Pass, no stopovers allowed, second class, 5 people. And, yes. Now have you seen that there? That's some Five Nights at Freddy's shit right there. Your safety cannot be guaranteed. So anyway, we're staying in the explosive room C4. And I decided to check out things to the left first, because reasons. So it is this guy with some green-ass hair. Everything is Arse. Okay, so either the CC room, which are actually my initials weirdly enough in real life, or the room C2 was stolen from. That's a very aggressive lantern hanging from the ceiling there. Sir, did you just squeak at me with your mousy ass nose? Everything is Arse this episode! Yeah, you just get your stapler out of... I'm doing it on purpose now. Anyway, you seem very shifty. Perhaps you're the thief in question. Well, the conductor doesn't seem to have any suspicions about him at the moment. Either that or he's just good at hiding. So, what does it stand for, CC, apart from me? But I prefer to be TH because I am Tess. Friday. Well, today is Friday. I'm recording this the day it goes up, but oh my god, Lady Gaga's still here. This is indeed thievery, but... oh. But no, we're not trying to steal your idea. Now, it sounds like she's talking about an idea for a novel, but no, it is an idea that is novel. I was having a similar discussion with my mother last night about things that... like, we were talking about a paper bag, which is a bag made of paper, versus a bag for containing paper. And I deduced that one is a noun phrase and the other is a phrasal noun. Yay, language. Anyway, there's this redhead guy lecturing this tube of toothpaste. I mean, look at him, he's a tube of toothpaste! Are you from Luxembourg? Hello. A letter sent in advance about something being stolen. Now, where have we heard this before? Anyway, you, good sir, I do not like your face, but we are a detective, so perhaps we can help you. And apparently we're pretty. Hello, toothpaste man. So supposedly the police are going to be here too. I know this game pretty well, but as was implied in the first case, rather, I think you can tell where this is going. Particularly if you've seen the box art of this game. But first, we'll have a conversation-ass talk, was what my brain wanted me to say there, with the people here, sea-bottom dwellers. Well, that's something to remember, because this game does have an overall story arc between the cases, as it is implied with recurring characters and whatnot. Because in the first game, we just had a load of cases and a very loose kind of Mackenzie's gonna be a detective kind of thing. But this actually has its own internal story arc that's a bit more serious. And the sea-bottom dwellers are one of the key components of that, alongside a certain police person and a certain head of corn. Anyway, I've totally not been paying attention to the dialogue, but an artifact from an ancient civilization, someone won it in an auction and it's been stolen. That's about it. That's the size of this case. And this poor bastard, I find it really easy to sympathise with Toothpaste Man there, because for this reason. The guy on the left told him, instructed him, commanded him to take a lunch break, and so he wasn't on duty and he was obliged to obey him anyway, and the thing was stolen while he was on his lunch break, and yet he's still being held accountable even though he was not being hired to protect the stuff at that time. So it's a classic case of arsehole versus hard done by Toothpaste Man. Classic. But yeah. So I didn't notice first, but if you talk to this guy and pick the first option, then once you finish talking to him about the first option changes to briefcase, which introduces us to that briefcase up there, which is another item from the same auction. It just has a different lot number on it, and he's going to explain what lot numbers are, because Mackenzie does not know, because she's a touch detective, not a touch auctioneer. Seems legit, seems a Turkish. So yes, lot number 115, and that's lot number 254. Priceless trading card. I suppose it is very much worth remembering these details, the lot numbers and what's been stolen and what hasn't been stolen, because, as the name of the case implies, this case revolves more around deception than it does thievery. So, just pay attention, is the message here. So that they were sent a message in advance, saying that the thing is going to be stolen. The Cornstalker, obviously. Because he's the one who sends messages in advance saying, I'm going to steal so-and-so. But it wasn't stolen at the auction, so they thought it was just a hoax, but then it turns out that it got stolen on the train instead. Now, we haven't checked out too much of the train, but this does very strongly imply... it's one of those classic cases of, you're on a moving train, so everyone who got on, everyone got on, the doors were closed, then the thing was stolen, therefore, A, the stolen thing is still on the train, and 2, the thief is also still on the train, because they had no point could they have gotten off. Now, we haven't seen everyone here, so we may yet run into someone, well, not in this episode, but, because this episode is mostly just dialogue, but we may yet discover someone who is obviously the Cornstalker in disguise, or not, I don't know. Well, I do know it's been a long time since I've played this particular case, because it's not my favourite, but I don't dislike it. I just like the other cases more. In fact, I think case 3 is my least favourite of this game, but we'll get to that when we get to that. But yes, everything's pointed to a classic Cornstalker incident. And, like I've said, the stolen thing is still on the train, as is the Cornstalker, so as long as we catch him before we get to our destination, wherever that may be, this should be a relatively easy case. Although we do have a lot of details of what happened, when, and to whom to work out, but we'll cross every bridge as it comes to it. But here's a contract that neatly summarises why it's not Toothpaste Man's fault. So he must take a 30-minute lunch break every 6 hours and brush his teeth. He must take a lunch break when his employer, that's him on the left, says so. He must receive permission, which he did. And then there's the overtime, but yeah. So, even though Mr. Red Hair or possibly Giant Floppy Beret, despite his protests, it is his fault, he just doesn't want to admit it. So, we should move on and... Okay, he wants to hear our theory before we fuck off and investigate more of the train. We don't have a theory just yet. I recognise that voice, and that noise. Yep, Inspector Daria, the third recurring instance that I was talking about before. Inspector Daria. So yeah, she's also on the train. So you would have thought, between a trained inspector and a touch detective, we'd probably have shit on fleek, dog. Or something. This shouldn't be a difficult case, is what I'm trying to say. Now, this case doesn't concern us, but because Daria is so inept, it's all us. So she's going to take these two away for questioning, which actually gives us a free pass to investigate this room a little bit, because, first of all, there's this on the floor here that we wouldn't even have noticed had she not taken them away. But we can also look at the other items in here without being told, hey, go away, stop poking my shit. Because that's something that we get told to do a lot. Anyway, we have a scrunched up piece of paper, a locked suitcase, and an inaccessible suitcase. And I just remembered that I'm having pizza for dinner tomorrow, and thank you for that contribution, Fungi. And once again, there's nothing in the bin. I don't think there ever is, but old habits die hard. Anyway, apparently the inspector is delightful, so this guy clearly has some sort of man boner. As opposed to what? For the law enforcement types, or whatever. I have been and will continue to be tessellating hexagons, and I'll see you in the next episode.